Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Bible study this week. It was just way too nice to film inside, so I'm out here sitting in the grass enjoying the sun. We've been going through a Bible study series on who is God. And so this week we're talking about how God is righteous. That word righteous, it's not like, oh, that was righteous, bro, sick, It's something different than that. God's righteousness means that God is morally right. He's morally right. He's always right. He's not wrong. Psalm 119, 137, it says, "You are righteous, Lord, and your laws are right." So a while back, I actually served on a jury for a murder trial. And while I was, going through the jury selection process, they were asking questions about how do you know what is right and what is just? And so as we were going through those questions, they explained how in our justice system here in America, there is a predetermined set of rules that define what is right and what is wrong and what the consequences are. That's our laws. Those are the laws that we have in this, great country of America. So while I'm not, trying to question those laws or our justice system by any means, I started to think about, where did those laws come from? Where did the ideas come from of what is right and what is wrong? Who came up with those? Who defines all of those things? What's right, what's wrong? And when you look at this verse in Psalm 119, 137, it says, "You are righteous, Lord, and your laws are right." So he always acts in accordance with what is right. God always does what's right. And God is the final standard for what is right and what is wrong. Right? So God is righteous. In his being, in his character, who he is, God is righteous. His laws are also right. The things that he does are right. He's the author, the definer of what's right. And he also defines what the consequences are for when we break those laws or when we go against his moral character, his rightness, his righteousness. And death is the consequence for that. When we sin, when we go against God's righteousness, the consequence of that is death. What's crazy, though, is in 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 18, this is what it says. "Christ also suffered once for sins, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God." So because of our sin, we've been separated from God, right? Because we're morally unfit to be in the presence of God because we do stupid, wrong stuff all the time, myself included. We're separated from God. But Jesus came and paid the penalty for us. He was righteous and he died in our place, the righteous for the unrighteous, so that you and I could be brought back into a right relationship with God, so that we could be set right before God again. Isn't that cool? That's what it means when you say, I want to follow Jesus, I want to accept Jesus into my life and into my heart, is that he's putting his righteousness on top of and covering over your unrighteousness so that you can have a right relationship with God. So God is righteous. He defines what is right. And then he also defines the consequences of what happens when we break or go against his righteousness. And then at the same time, even though we are unrighteous, he sent his son to die on the cross to pay the penalty for our unrighteousness. He offered the righteous for the unrighteous so that we could be set free. So it may sound unfair, but God's doing everything that he can to bring you into a right relationship with him because he loves you so much. God is righteous. I'll see you guys next week.